people, LP2000 right back at you with another video. Yes. Welcome back to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Collect All Monsters. You know, I gotta represent the brand. You know what I'm saying? Again, welcome. Welcome to this new review that I got for y'all today. And this one is a really special review. Kind of like the last video that I did, you know, of the awesome, gigantic 3D printed statue of Titanosaurus, courtesy of one of my best friends in the entire world, Marcellus Winters, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm covering another piece that was also gifted to me by another great friend of mine. I go into that momentarily. But again, you already clicked the title, you know exactly what and who we're covering here. So let's dive head first into this awesome 30cm resin model kit review. And today we'll take a look at the resin model kit, 30cm of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo of the 1972 Godzilla. Yes, the awesome incarnation of the King of the Monsters that brought the fight to both Gigan and King Ghidorah in the epic film from 1972, Godzilla vs. Gigan. As you can see, I have the beautiful kit. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, I know the suit was on his last legs. I know that, and it's kind of replicated here in the model kit, but it is a great model kit, and I'm so glad to have this in my collection. Yes. So again, this is the model kit. So you know how we do things around here. Let's get up close and personal with the box of the packaging before we get into the model kit of Godzilla. And here's the picture of the box. You know what I'm saying? Has a picture of what the kit would look like all built up and painted, you know what I'm saying? Godzilla 1972 in Japanese text. Of course, the official logo of the company that's producing this kit, Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo. Again, I'll talk more about them momentarily. You know what I'm saying? Just great artwork on the box, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a super big box, you know, whatever, because again, the model kit came in pieces and you have to put it together yourself and all that good stuff. It also came with a thank you card, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for the purchase, and show what the kit looked like in separate pieces before you have to assemble it and build it. Of course, you know, credit to sculpted by the awesome Burlee Vang, one of my best friends in the world. Again, I'll touch on that momentarily. You know what I'm saying? Produced by Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo. So that's it with the packaging. So let's talk about the amazing backstory behind this awesome 30cm resin model kit of the 1972 Godzilla, courtesy of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo model kit company. Now, this awesome kit was sculpted by a great friend of mine, Burlee Vang, and I'm sure you heard his name on my channel a few times before in the past. But to go into a backstory between Burlee and I, don't want to make it too long-winded. But he and I have been friends going on 10 years. We first came in contact with each other 10 years ago, I want to say, on the X Plus Collectors Facebook group. And at the time, I was new into X Plus, so I started grabbing as many figures as I could. And I remember I got the Rick exclusive edition of the 30cm Titanosaurus, which came with that little mini sub that came with Titanosaurus. And I also got the Rick version of the 30cm standard version of Resin. And I think that came with the mini version of the Baradagi statue, right? And Burlee and I started talking, you know, on Facebook, and he was inquiring about the pieces. And I was like, you know what? I really don't want them, so I'll just give them to you for free. You know, I didn't want anything for them, you know, whatever. And Burlee was always nice to me, so I was like, you know what? Let's just, you know, you can have them, you know. And ever since then, we've been great friends. You know, we don't talk as much as we should because we're busy in our individual lives, mind you, but we're still great friends. And Burlee started doing a long time ago what I started doing recently, where I started to gravitate more into the model kits, you know, whatever. Burlee did that many years ago, where he started, you know, kind of like slowly phasing out his X Plus figure collection in favor of doing model kits, you know, whatever. And then he started doing his own sculptures of model kits, you know, whatever. He started with the King Kong kit from 1967, you know what I'm saying? He also did a great sculpt, or at least great model kit, of Gamera, which looks really good. Of course, my first ever kit that I was able to get for him that he sculpted was, of course, the awesome 30cm Imposter 1974 Godzilla, which I think Burlee is talking about he may start doing a little bit more, like maybe do a few more for those who didn't get it the first time around, you know? So again, he has become not only a great collector and a great model kit enthusiast, but he has become a great artist. You know what I'm saying? And he started doing this in 2021. So here it is, 2023. This has been a 2-year project in the making. And I remember that day when he first started posting pictures that this was the next sculpt he was working on. I went bonkers. I went crazy because you all know the fan favorite suit that we know as the Shoshingeki Godzilla suit, the 1968 Godzilla suit. My favorite incarnation of that suit is, of course, the 1972. You know what I'm saying? I love that incarnation of Godzilla, or at least of the Shoshingeki Godzilla suit. And when Burlee started doing this, I was like, this is so great. Because up until this point, we have not had like a proper representation, 30 centimeter wise, of the 1972 Godzilla. Because, again, a lot of people don't really like this suit because of the wear and tear that the suit had in the film of Godzilla vs. Gigan. So that's understandable to a certain extent. But still, we needed a more realistic, proper representation, 30 centimeter representation of this incarnation of Godzilla. And Burlee saw a need for that. He started to do this sculpt. Again, which I was so happy for. You know what I'm saying? And he finally got the sculpt done, I want to say, late 2022. And he contacted Mac, who is also a great model kit enthusiast, you know, whatever. He owns the awesome Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago. So he developed his own company, Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, where he's going to specialize in making model kits of some obscure monsters that may not be out there, you know, a lot in the collectible market, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, he is doing like the monsters from Final Wars, you know what I'm saying? And I am getting a few of those kits. I know I've said my piece on Final Wars, but the sculpts he has made of the monsters outside of Godzilla and Gigan and Kaisergador, you know what I'm saying? He has done a great job on those other monsters, you know what I'm saying? But he also produced this kit through his company as well. And it came up for pre-order, I want to say, early this year, around April of 2023, and it started filtering into people's hands early summer. And at the time, I missed out on the pre-order because I had so many things going on, mind you. And I was really kicking myself in the foot because I really did want this kit, you know. And Burlee came to me and was like, look, were you able to pre-order one? I was like, not really. Or just flat out no, I should say. He was like, you know what? I got you. So he was able to secure one from Doc. And not only that, he built and painted for me, and he got it to me in time for my birthday. Which at the time of this recording, it was last week around this time, last Friday. And so this was a great birthday gift from Burlee, and I cannot thank him enough for making this for me. And that is the backstory on how we got this awesome, you know, kit of the 1972 Godzilla. And it's only fitting that he got this kit done. Again, he started in 2021, but he got it done in late 2022. Coincidentally, that was the 50th anniversary of the film of Godzilla vs. Gigan and the 50th anniversary of this incarnation of Godzilla. So it kind of worked out perfectly, in my opinion. And as a matter of fact, when I found out this thing was coming, that's when I got my hands on the Monster Maker 28 model kit of Gigan from G-Fest. At first, I wasn't going to get Gigan, even though I knew it was coming, and it was an awesome rendition of Gigan, courtesy of Monster Maker 28. But once I found out that Burlee was making this, and he already had the Monster Maker 28 Gigan kit, he was making this model kit to be size comparable to him, which you'll see in size comparisons later on. Once I found out about that, I had to get Gigan, and again, everything kind of worked out where I got Godzilla as well. So again, that is the backstory about how I got this awesome resin model kit, courtesy of Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, Burlee Vang, and Mac. And again, I want to thank those fine gentlemen for making this happen for me. And what's so cool about Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, because again, it's a new company, but again, they're going to be doing monsters that are not heavily represented in our collectible market. And I really do like that. And also, at the end of the day, both Burlee Vang and Mac, they're fans. No different than Roto Kaiju's Steve Savagoli and Beto Matale. And I love seeing these endeavors or these companies or these projects come from fans that want to help other fans. So that's a great thing. And again, I got more Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo model kits coming, you know what I'm saying, that I will showcase on the channel before I shut the channel down in a couple months. So I want to put as much promotion and goodwill and well wishes to this company, because again, what I've seen so far from them, I really do enjoy, and I highly suggest you go on the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo website and see what they got coming, what they have out, you know, whatever. And according to Mac, they got some other great things in store once they get the license approval, you know, from the proper people. So keep your eye out on Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, especially if you're a model kit enthusiast or if you want that obscure monster that may not be heavily represented in the market right now. Alright, so let's get up close and personal with this guy. Yes, the awesome 30cm resin model kit of the 1972 Godzilla, courtesy of Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo right off the bat. Great rendition of Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? The tree bark light skin, or I would say the worn down tree bark light skin of Godzilla on the sculpt looks really good. Because again, that was reminiscent in the sculpt of the suit. Because again, at this point in the series, with this being the 4th time that this suit was used behind Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla's Revenge, and of course Smog Monster, the suit was on his last legs, like no joke. Like again, you see pieces of the suit falling off in certain scenes. You see some pieces of the suit dangling on Godzilla's arms, you know, whatever. It's like, again, this suit was running on fumes, no pun intended. And I think that adds to the charm of this suit. I'll talk more about that towards the tail end of the video. But again, the worn down tree bark light skin of Godzilla looks really good. And of course, again, talking about the dangling parts, I love how Burlee, you know, simulated the dangling parts on his arms. You have some pieces that's hanging on underneath Godzilla's arms right here, both of his arms, and I think that looks really good. Again, it looks really good. Again, it captures the wear and tear on the suit, you know, whatever. Three toe scheme is sculpted perfectly. The legs, you know, you have that that stripe in the middle of Godzilla's abdomen, which is again something that we've seen pretty much in every show with Godzilla's suit. Looks really good. The tail, you know, curve, you know, kind of long, you know, whatever, which is making it more shelf friendly. Because again, we talked about tails before on my channel, where again, if a tail is large and long and it's like going outwards, it kind of makes it hard to position him on your shelf. But with this tail not only being long, but yet it's curved, he makes him more shelf friendly. You know what I'm saying? So I really do like the sculpture of the tail here. Of course, the dorsal plates, again, looks exactly like the Shoshingeki Goji dorsal plates, you know, whatever. Looks really good. You know, the face looks really good, sculpted really well. Now, this was something that I had Burlee modified for me, because originally the kit came with a closed mouth. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted this Godzilla to have a more of an open mouth. I wanted him to be roaring. So I had Burlee, again, modify the jaw where he's in an open mouth position. I think it looks really good. You know, it kind of reminds me of that scene at the oil refinery scene when Godzilla and Anguirus confront King Ghidorah and Gigan. And before we cut to the humans, you know, doing that rescue mission at the Godzilla Tower, we see Godzilla, you know, we see Godzilla roaring with his arms up and his mouth is open really wide before it cuts to the humans. That's what I think of when I think of when I see this this mouth open like that, especially with the arms, you know, placement like that, you know, whatever. So again, the whole sculpt from top to bottom looks really good. And again, let's talk about the paint job. Paint job is stellar, kind of like the sculpt in my opinion. You know, you had dark charcoal gray, or at least kind of like a lightish, between the mixture of a light and dark charcoal gray of Godzilla. Looks really good. The paint job again kind of lends itself to the sculpt, where again the suit was in dilapidated condition. So the look of the suit, paint scheme wise, kind of reflect that too. Again, just adds the more realism to the overall look of the suit. So I love the you know, the mixture of the dark light charcoal gray on the majority of Godzilla's body here. You know, you have the silver sheen on the dorsal plates. That looks really good. Bone off-white color on his toes, as well as his claws, you know, whatever. Eyes are colored really well. You know, the individual sculpted teeth, as well as the paint job on the interior of his mouth, both the upper and lower jaw, looks really good. So from top to bottom, sculpt wise, paint job wise, this thing is perfect in my opinion. Again, reminiscent of the 1972 Godzilla. You're probably wondering what is my favorite thing about this this model kit in terms of Godzilla. I probably have to say the eyes, you know, whatever, because again, when you look at the suit from 1968, from 69 to 71, and now here in 72, again, because of the rigorous fight scenes that this Godzilla had between King Ghidorah, Gabra, and Hedra, and now Gigan, right? Again, the damage has taken its toll on his suit by 1972. And now the eyes, I don't know what they did, but again, even though by and large it's the same suit from 68, But the little modifications that they made, maybe they were forced into making these modifications because, again, the suit was on its last legs at this point. But I love how the eyes are kind of like squinted, where he comes across as a little bit more menacing as he was, or as he did in 1968. That's one of the main reasons why, again, out of all the 4 incarnations of the Shoshingeki suit, I prefer this one. You know what I'm saying? Again, and I'm aware of the wear and tear. I'm aware of the poor condition the suit is in. But again, they were able to patch it up and make it work for Gigan, and he came across more menacing, you know, look-wise in the face. So I probably would say, like, his face and his eyes is like my favorite thing about this piece. But either way, this is a stellar model kit of the 1972 Godzilla. And if you want one, I highly suggest maybe you can hit up Burlee Vang on Facebook, or maybe .mac. Maybe they have a couple extras, you know, out there somewhere. But if you're a fan of this suit, or at least a fan of this Godzilla and a movie like I am, you owe it to yourself to go after this piece. There's no question about that. Yes, yes, yes. And again, thank you to Burlee Vang, and thank you to .mac and Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo for making this happen for me. Because you already know, Godzilla vs. Gigan is my second most favorite Godzilla film of all time. I so love that film despite the problems. And I so love this Godzilla despite his problems, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is a stellar piece, and I highly recommend it. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? I'm not going to drown the review in size comparisons. Really, the only reason why I got this thing was for, again, the Monster Maker 28 Gigan that I got for myself last year at G-Fest. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? Let's bring up the Monster Maker 28 30cm kit of Gigan and see how he pairs up against this 1972 Godzilla 30cm resin model kit from Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo in the first and only size comparison. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, here we are with the first and only size comparison, and oh my god, this is so great seeing these two together. Yes, the two title characters from the awesome film from 1972 in Godzilla vs. Gigan, and alongside the 30cm resin model kit of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo 1972 Godzilla, I have his main enemy from the film in the Monster Maker 28 30cm resin model kit of the awesome space cyborg known as Gigan. As you can see here, this is perfect. This is a perfect size comparison between two awesome monsters. And again, as I mentioned earlier in regards to Burlee Vang, when he was putting this thing together, again, at that point, I think he already had the Monster Maker 28 Gigan kit. And so when he was putting the finishing touches on this 72 Godzilla, he wanted it to be sized perfectly. He wanted to make it size comparable, to Gigan here. And as you can see here, I think he's done an incredible job. He's done a phenomenal job putting these two together size-wise, which is pretty much accurate to the film, you know, or whatever. So this is great. Not too much to go on here, but again, the sole purpose of me getting these figures was basically the other one. You know what I mean? Like I said, the only reason why I got Gigan because I knew I was going to get these 72 Godzilla at some point. At least I hopeful that I was. But as luck turned out, I was able to get the 72 Godzilla, so everything worked out perfectly. You know what I'm saying? So this is a great size comparison. Unfortunately, Anguirus and Ghidorah couldn't make it. Now, you know what? This Godzilla does look well up against the 30cm X Plus Anguirus 1968, which basically was the same suit that was used in Gigan. And coincidentally, that is a sculpt from Monster Maker 28. The S Plus adapted into a vinyl figure. But you know what? At the time of this recording, Monster Maker 28 is coming out with a 1972 Anguirus, which is pretty much no different than the 68. But I already got that Anguirus on lock, courtesy of the awesome Burlee Vang. I'm going to have it sent off to Marcellus Winters. He's going to have it painted for me like the Anguirus 1972, so I can put that Anguirus up against Godzilla and Gigan here. And hopefully at some point I might get a 30cm Ghidorah, baby. But until then, this will do me. Seeing Godzilla and Gigan about to beat the crap out of each other on my shelf. So this is awesome. Take it easy, fellas, because you're both made of resin. So that's it with the first and only size comparison between Godzilla and Gigan. In my opinion, the perfect size comparison between these two monsters, both 30 centimeters, and they both complement each other perfectly, in my opinion. So let's go to the final commentary portion of the video. My final thoughts of the 30cm resin model kit of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo 1972 Godzilla from its epic appearance from Godzilla vs. Gigan. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, I'm back with my final thoughts of the 30cm resin model kit of the 1972 Godzilla, courtesy of the awesome Burlee Vang and Dot Max Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo model kit company. Oh my god, 10 out of 10. I love it. I so love this thing. Again, it captures the essence of the suit, you know, or whatever. The wear and tear, the poor condition of the suit, the battle damage look of the suit, which I do appreciate, which I'll talk about momentarily. But again, from top to bottom, sculpt wise, paint job wise, again, this is such a stellar representation of that suit of Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? And in terms of 1972, because, you know, again, I love this version of Godzilla. Again, it's my favorite version of the Shoshingeki suit. But in addition to, again, I have the S plus 25cm 72 Godzilla. I have that awesome gigantic size model kit of the Tenjitsu Craft 71 Godzilla. But I had it morphed into the 72 Godzilla. So now he joins them, you know what I'm saying? And all of them are really awesome representations of that version of Godzilla. But this one kind of stands out because, again, of the wear and tear that's replicated into the sculpt, into the model kit of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo version. Again, this is such a great piece, and the fact that it sizes perfectly with the Monster Maker 28 Gigan, and more likely it will size up well perfectly with the upcoming Monster Maker 28 30cm Anguirus 1972. Again, I can't wait to get my hands on that kit to put with the Godzilla here. So again, between this one and, again, I have the Imposter 1974 Godzilla kit, you know, courtesy of Burlee Vang. I'm kind of torn which one I like more, the 74 Imposter or this one right here. You know what I'm saying? Both of them are awesome kits. Both of them were expertly put together by Burlee. But I'm kind of torn between the two because they're both awesome. But again, this is such a great awesome piece. Again, thank you to Dot Mac and, of course, Burlee Vang for hooking me up just in time for my birthday. I really do appreciate this. Now, again, it is no secret that, again, I love this movie of Godzilla vs. Gigan, despite the problems and the issues and the stock footage and the monsters talking and the forgettable cast in a lot of respects. But I've always appreciated this film. And again, as I've gotten older, I have really grown to appreciate the 70s films even a lot more, especially by learning the backstory behind these films, how they were met with poor budgets, how they were plagued with nonsensical storylines and child actors, and in a way, by all intents and purposes, we're lucky that we got a 1970s era films to begin with, you know what I'm saying? Because again, they were going to end the series with Destroy All Monsters, because at that point, the Japanese film industry, especially the kaiju film industry, was really going through a rough time because, again, the advent of television that also produced kaiju content presented the issue that, again, there was no point of going to the movie theaters to pay money where you can sit at home and watch something for free similar, you know what I'm saying? So again, the film industry, at least the Godzilla film industry, took a hit by the late 60s going into the 70s. But they felt that, you know, they can get a few more stories out of Godzilla, and that's why we got the awesome 70s films. And again, they were met with poor budgets, so they had to resort to stock footage. They had to resort of using this Godzilla suit way after its expiration date. Because to be honest with you, considering that this suit, again, was used in 4 films, right? You can say that maybe 1968 Destroy All Monsters and Godzilla's Revenge, the suit, even though it did some battling in both those films, it wasn't as hardcore and extensive as both Smog Monster and Gigan. Honestly, if I had to point the finger to the movie that really put the wear and tear in the suit, was really Smog Monster. If you think about the fight scenes Godzilla did with Hedra in that film, you know, from the suit being hit with acidic muck and drowned in that liquid muck and just all the stuff that he went through battling Hedra, I think really took a lot more damage on the suit, took its toll on the suit way more than expected. So by the time that 1972 Godzilla vs. Gigan came around, and again, they only had enough of money in the budget to devote to one brand new monster suit, and that was Gigan. All 3 monster suits of Godzilla, Anguirus, and King Ghidorah were refurbished suits. They had to make, you know, the most out of what they were given. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's those reasons why I've always had a soft spot for the 70s films, despite their production issues. Again, they may not hold a candle to the 60s in terms of production quality, but they were still fun films nonetheless. And you know what? I've seen this argument that, again, that a lot of people don't really like this suit because how it looked in the film. of Godzilla vs. Gigan. And you know what? There are valid arguments. There are valid claims that this suit did not look too well in certain scenes. But I don't agree with the sentiment that some people have that this suit looked horrible the entirety of the film. I wouldn't go that far. I really would not go that far. Now, was it in super pristine condition as he looked to destroy all monsters? Absolutely not. But at the same time, he was not this worn down, dilapidated version as he looked towards the tail end. I would argue that if you look at the film from beginning to end, every time Godzilla is on screen, whether it's the opening scene or whether he's seen on Monster Island sleeping or resting, whether he orders Anguirus to go to Japan, when he confronts Gigan and Ghidorah at the oil refinery, the good early going of the fight at Children's Land, you know, whatever. I think the suit looked absolutely presentable. He looked really, really good. Again, it wasn't super pristine, but it still wasn't the wear and tear look that we got towards the closing moments of the film. Now, the time where this suit really showed its wear and tear, I would say it was at the point where he gets battered by the Godzilla Tower. And right, once he gets battered by the Godzilla Tower, and once he has that one-on-one fight with Gigan at the end, that is when the suit showed its wear and tear the most. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, they were closing out the production of the fight scene. But at the same time, I hardly think about Godzilla looking kind of like ragged at that point. You know why? Because Godzilla basically went full John Cena on both Ghidorah and Gigan. Because a good majority of the fight up until that point, Godzilla and the Anguirus get their butts handed to them. They could not get the better of Gigan and Ghidorah. But once Godzilla slams into the Godzilla Tower and he gets his second win, that's when he goes full on John Cena mode and just takes out both Gigan and Ghidorah. Of course, Anguirus helps out by keeping Ghidorah at bay at times. But Godzilla whipping his tail into Gigan, getting on top of Gigan, doing the ground and pound and punching him in the face. Him going after Ghidorah, him putting Ghidorah in the full Nelson, him slamming Ghidorah, suplexing Ghidorah, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That to this day, that moment makes me mark out. So seeing Godzilla give a brutal beatdown, unlike which we have never seen before up until that point, makes me forget about the fact that Godzilla was not in the best condition cosmetically, suit-wise, you know, or whatever. So that's why I don't really care about the suit being in the form that is in towards the tail end of the movie, because again, it shows his battle damage. And you know what? He is not the only pop culture character to have a cool looking look when he is battle damaged. How about Batman from 1989? After Batman crashed his Batwing, that look that he had where he's scarred and he got that wound on his cheek or his lower face, the lower part of his face, that was a cool battle damage look. Or how about the shark from Jaws 2? Now, I'm not going to sit here and rant and rave how I think Jaws 2 is better than Jaws. I'm not going to say that right now. But you have to admit that the look they gave the shark in Jaws 2, where half of his face is burnt off, again, kind of sets it apart from the first shark in Jaws. And it came across as more of a menacing look. Again, a battle damaged look, which made him look a lot cooler, in my opinion. Well, how about the Terminator? The first Terminator in 1984. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was the bad guy Terminator. And towards the tail end, after he is shot up a few times, and he gets ran over by the tanker truck, then he commandeers the tanker truck, and you see like half of his face falling off, the flesh falling off. You see part of his metal endoskeleton coming out with the red eye. I've always thought that was a cool, menacing look of the Terminator. So those are a few examples between the Terminator, the shark from Jaws 2, and of course Batman from 1989. And like Godzilla here, that you know what, sometimes having a battle damaged, dilapidated look actually make you look cooler. You know what I'm saying? Now I know some folks will never agree with that, and that's fine. But that's my rationale for it. You know what I'm saying? Again, he had a battle damaged look. He went through some wars, this Shoshingeki Godzilla suit did. Between King Ghidorah, Gabra, and of course Hedra, Gigan, and Ghidorah again, this suit showed its scars. And you know what? That's what I appreciate the most about this suit. And that's what I appreciate the most about this model kit. And it's such an awesome rendition of that version of Godzilla. Yes, yes, yes. So again, if you want one, I highly suggest hit up Burlee Vang or Mac on Facebook. Maybe they have a few extras running around. I don't think they do, but I'm not going to sit here and say that they don't. So hit them up on Facebook. And again, if you want a quality representation of the 1972 Godzilla in collectible form, look no further than this guy right here. There's no question about that. Yes, yes, yes. So that pretty much concludes my review of the awesome resin model kit of the 30cm 1972 Godzilla, courtesy of the awesome folks from Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo. From its epic appearance from 1972's Godzilla vs. Gigan, one of my most favorite Godzilla films of all time. Yes, yes, yes. You have any questions, comment down in the comment section. Hit me on Facebook via Leslie Chambers, but definitely go from there. Yes, once again, I really do appreciate it. Again, in the last video with Titanosaurus, and again, that was made by one of my most best friends in the world, in Marcellus Winters. Here we have another piece I was able to acquire in my collection with another great friend of mine, one of my most best friends in the world, like Marcellus, in Burlee Vang. So again, thank you, Burlee, and again, thank you, Doc. I really do appreciate it. And again, I'm looking forward, Doc, to see what other Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo model kits that you're going to be cooking up for us. And again, at the time of recording, I do have a few coming my way, and I'll show those off when the time comes. But I'm heavily invested in Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, and I highly suggest you do the same. Just hit them up on Facebook or go to their website, Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, and see what they have got cooking, what they have done so far. Again, I think we're in for some great things with that company, and I can't wait to see what's coming up next from that model kit studio. You know what I'm saying? But again, woo! Seeing this and Gigan together makes me want to watch the movie now, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So ladies and gentlemen, I finally give to you the awesome resin model kit of the 1972 Godzilla, courtesy of the fine folks at Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, also sculpted by my awesome great friend, Burlee Vang. If you want it, get your hands on it. You will not be disappointed. Yes, yes, yes. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you all again on this figure move review. All right? Y'all take it easy.